You've just emerged from your egg. Welcome to the world. You take a look around, and the first thing you see is absolutely terrifying. It's huge, with an ugly bald, gray head and beady little eyes. It has a green, yellow, and black beak, a fluffy fat body, thick yellow scaly legs, and big black claws for feet. It's like something out of a nightmare, and it's coming straight for you. Oh, it's Mum. Hi, Mum. She's not very pretty, is she? You feel hungry. What's on the menu? Mum comes over, opens her mouth, and out comes milk. Wasn't expecting that. Well, dodos are related to pigeons and doves. Pigeons and doves produce something called crop milk. That's a kind of milk secreted from the inside of their throats to feed their young. And that's what you're going to get too. Milk secreted from your mum's throat. Enjoy. For now, your world is a large nest on the ground in a forest. Nope, just you. Oh, can't do that. At least, not yet. You'll have to wait till you get bigger before you can think about standing up and walking about. And your wings? You won't be doing much with those. You won't be using them to fly either. But don't worry, you'll probably develop and grow quickly. But for now, your mum will feed you. Right now, you're about a week old, and you've had just about enough of your mum's crop milk. So it's time to leave the nest and find something a bit tastier. You hop over the other side of your nest and wander out into the forest for the first time. Fruit? Mmm, tasty. Nuts? Yep, let's have some of those. Seeds? They'll do. Bulbs? If you insist. Roots? Nice. So it looks like there's plenty of food for you to eat here, which makes you wonder, is this paradise? Well, it literally is. You live on the island of Mauritius, a small tropical paradise about 680 miles east of Madagascar. It's the only place your kind have ever lived, and for now, life here seems pretty sweet. This dodoing doesn't seem too bad so far. Well, don't be hasty, we'll get to that. But for now, it's a new day. You head out into the forest again, more fruits and nuts and other good stuff. There are a few other dodos hanging about, pecking at stuff and doing other dodo things, but you don't stop to chat. You're all here for the same reason: food. Nobody's interested in making friends. What's that? That doesn't look good. Is that normal? Oh well, I guess we're good. You were born in September, and now 2 months later, you're already almost fully grown. You have a strong beak, so eating hard food is no problem. The problem is digesting it. To get around this, you swallow stones with your food. This helps crush the food up and make it easier to digest. You then regurgitate the stones and swallow more when you need them. It might not be the most pleasant way to enjoy a meal, but it does the job. Your life is pretty uncomplicated. All you need to worry about is more wandering and more pecking. But sometimes things don't seem quite the way they should be. Today, something's going on down at the beach. You've never seen people before, so you're not afraid of them. You just watch with mild curiosity. From November, it gets stormy on your island. It rains more, but there's still enough for everyone to eat. The storms last a few months, but by the end of March, they're more or less finished. April is the start of summer, and now there's more food lying around than ever. You eat as much as you can, and you start putting on weight. August is here, and you're a fully grown adult female dodo. Fat around the middle, weighing about 15 pounds and about 2 feet tall. Time to find a mate. Okay, so you're no supermodel, but don't worry if you're not much of a looker. To boy dodos, you're one sexy bird. 2 boys take an interest in you, and they're trying to impress you. They're about a foot taller than you. They have pretty beaks too, and they're showing them off to try to seduce you. They're also puffing up their feathers and flapping their little wings, which, you have to admit, does look pretty hot. But you can't decide which one you like, and neither is giving up. So now, they're going to fight. How exciting! It feels pretty good to have these 2 boys squaring off over you. Looks like he's the one. But he still needs to charm you. You're not that easy. Okay, that'll do. He's the one for me. A few days later, you lay one large egg in your nest, and you're now going to spend the next month sitting on it. After a month of incubating the egg, your baby starts to hatch. He gets a first look at you and does a double take because you look terrifying. Then he opens his beak for his first taste of crop milk. It feels great to be a new mum. For the next few days, you feed your baby. You also head off into the forest to find food for yourself when you need a snack. But today, when you come back, you find your nest empty. You spent some time looking for your baby, but you can't find him. You don't understand, but you have a vague feeling that something terrible has just happened. And now, you're starting to realize why it sucks to be a dodo. Better luck next year. For the next few years, your life follows the same pattern. You fatten yourself up from March, you mate in August, you lay an egg, and after your baby hatches, you molt and grow new feathers for the coming year. Some years, your baby survives, but most years it doesn't. It's a lot harder to raise chicks than it used to be, but you don't know that. You just keep doing what you do because that's what your instincts tell you. Nowadays, there are strange animals in the forest too. You feel like they don't belong here, but otherwise, you don't pay them much mind. As you grow older, there seems to be less food to eat than before. You see more of those strange animals in the forest, and sometimes they scare you. Sometimes you get attacked by dogs. Sometimes dogs carry off your babies. Sometimes it's pigs. Sometimes pigs eat your eggs. Sometimes rats eat your eggs. Sometimes monkeys steal your eggs and carry them off. And sometimes people club your friends to death or catch them and put them in cages. Yeah, life as a dodo is really starting to suck now. You're now 10 years old, and so far, only 3 of your chicks have survived. It's the same for everyone, and there aren't as many dodos around now as there used to be. Some days, you seem to have the forest to yourself, and you don't even meet any other dodos while you're out pecking. There are more and more people on your island now, and you're starting to learn to avoid them. Turns out, they didn't come here to make friends with you. But the biggest problem is not the people, it's the animals they brought with them. Those animals don't belong here, and now they're taking over the whole island. Like your ancestors, you lay your eggs in unprotected nests on the ground, because until recently, there was no reason to do things any differently. You have no instinctive fear of people or animals. You don't even have anything more than a big beak and a strong bite to protect yourself. The people have only been here a few years, but between the people eating you, the animals eating your babies, and the animals eating everything else they can find, your kind are disappearing fast. Worse still, you and your clan only live in a small corner of Mauritius in the forests to the south and west, and occupying such a limited habitat doesn't help your chances of survival. Sadly, before people came and settled on the island in the 16th century, life had been pretty sweet here for you and all the other animals that called Mauritius home. You had lots of food, and you weren't on anybody else's menu. But that changed pretty quickly once the people turned up, and less than 100 years later, all of your kind were dead. Yeah, as dead as a dodo. So, while it might once have been a pretty nice life to have been born as a dodo, those days are long gone. And that's why being born as a dodo, especially one born after the people arrived, really sucked.